evening, everyone. Welcome to LM Sports Talk YouTube channel. Please do me a favor. If this is your first time here, subscribe, like, share, do all those good things and let everyone know. So, once again, like I tell everybody, I'm trying to retire off this podcast. So make it happen for me. It was beautiful Sabbath day. My family and I, we spent some time at the house enjoying. Enjoyed the preaching of Pastor Bird today. And it was amazing story from Luke 24. And so read that chapter, Luke 24, y'all read that. Right now, we got a snowstorm outside, expected all day tomorrow. And so, yeah, we'll definitely be cooped up inside the house for the next few days. But, it's interesting. While I was relaxing and chilling and enjoying my Sabbath with my family, it looks like there were a few people around the NFL making some phone calls and getting on the line just when we were about to jump on the podcast. And this is what I want this podcast to be like. I want it to be when news drop, I want us to be able to drop what we're doing, get on the podcast so we can talk about it, vibe, and get on it, And so it was interesting. We were scheduled to jump on at 9:30, and next thing you know, news just stopped dropping. Adam Schefter sending out tweets and things of that nature. I didn't even know what was going on. My partner had to tell me, so I'm gonna let my partner break down the news for us. First of all, Moses, how was your day? And then break down the trade that just went down for us. Talk to us.
Bro, my day was lovely. Got a good Sabbath day. Like you said, hanging out with the family. We did a little, virtual church today? And everything was good. We went out a little bit. We went riding around and saw the sceneries. So everything was good. But like you said, people are doing business on the Sabbath and stuff is getting done between the LA Rams and the Detroit Lions. So the Detroit Lions is going to send Matthew Stafford to LA for Jared Goff and the third-round pick this year. They got a first-round pick 2021 and another first-round pick in 2022. Bro, that's a ransom. And then I just thought about it. I'm like, why didn't they get a first-round pick this year? And I forgot they traded 2 first-round picks last year for Ramses. So we'll talk about it. But them boys are mortgaging their futures. Like no young players coming through that organization. They're definitely in win mode right now. Win now mode. That's what they are. That's where they're at.
That's exactly very factual about them wanting to win right now. And it makes, listen, if you've got no first round picks, like I just saw online somebody, and I don't know if it was accurate, but they basically said the Rams last first round pick that they picked was Jared Goff in 2016, and they don't have another first round pick until like 2025 or some craziness like that. And so if you've got no first round picks, you gotta go, you mortgage the whole future. You're already all in to begin with. And let's be honest, them boys are not that far, right? And when we look at the defense, they've got a couple of players on the defensive side of the ball that are monsters, that are game changers. And then on the offensive side of the ball, the honest truth is they've got the skill position players to have a decent team. So I can understand the thought process of saying, I'm going to just go ahead, give what I can get to get a decent quarterback. And so let's begin here. What kind of impact do you see this having right now for that division? I'm going to start off with the NFC West, right? I'm going to start off with the NFC West. The honest truth is, like I was just talking to Moses during the pregame, like I'm not necessarily concerned about Detroit right now. This does bode somewhat well for the Dolphins, and so we'll definitely get into it a little bit. But I want to see from the Rams' perspective, how does this look? They've got the Arizona Cardinals that are a young up-and-coming team that's got a beast at quarterback in Murray, right? They've got the Seattle Seahawks with Russ. Always. If you got Russ back there, you're always going to be in every game, right? They made the playoffs this year, and then you've got who's the third team that I'm missing besides LA? So I've got LA, I've got the Seahawks, I've got the Cardinals. I'm drawing a blank, but I'll come back to it when we get a chance. But that division is rough to begin with.
49ers.
The 49ers. Oh my God, how could I forget the 49ers, man? Mo, I know Mo, if you ever listen to this podcast, please don't be mad at me, man. How could I forget your 49ers? But yeah, the 49ers always, they had a lot of injuries this year, right? The 49ers had a lot of injuries this year, which set them back a little bit. But I think they're a quarterback away from being able to do what they do best, and that's win games, run the ball with every running back that you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
And so how does Matthew Stafford change the landscape of the NFC West?
Bro, I think he makes the Rams more balanced because throughout the years, everybody considered and everybody knew that the weakest link on that team was Jared Goff. I remember when he first came into the league, he wasn't reading plays. You know what I'm saying? They'll get into the formation, get into the line, and then he'll look at Sean McVay, and Sean McVay will relay to the very last seconds that they're allowed, relay the play that they're going to run and who's his first, second, and third option was, right? And it happened for years. So he is the weakest link. Like you said, they got a monster of a defense over there, right? They just McVay just needs somebody to run that offense, right? With basically without being handcuffed. I think so. So that already, because they're 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. So I really think they and the 49ers are the top of that division. I would say Seattle, but Seattle's defense really, really struggled last year. They're definitely not the Legion of Boom anymore. It's basically a one-man show. It was like Russell's basically go ahead and keeping that team afloat, because I don't even think the offensive line is that great, has never been that great. Like Russell does everything. So I think for 1, 2, and 3, you know what I'm saying, 49ers coming back full tilt, and the 49ers, the Rams, and then the Seahawks. I think they have a good chance to make it back to the playoffs and be a high seed.
There you go. So it makes sense from LA's perspective to go after a player of Matthew Stafford's caliber. Now the question that the question that I'm gonna ask, and I'm probably never gonna get an answer to, is the fact that we know Deshaun Watson is available and is out there. All right. Clearly, the Rams were willing to give up some pieces to go get a decent quarterback, right? Because they realized that Jared Goff is just not it, because he's up and down a lot, and so it was just like he's not consistent enough to be a good quarterback. So I guess the thought process is, why not go after Deshaun Watson? Why go after Matthew Stafford? Why focus on a Stafford when clearly, I don't know, maybe I'm seeing this wrong and I need my partner to tell me that I'm wrong, but I clearly think Deshaun Watson is a way, way better QB than Matthew Stafford is, and maybe not way better, I guess, maybe not, but by numbers, clearly Deshaun Watson was higher ranked than Matthew Stafford. So why not go get Deshaun Watson instead of Matthew Stafford? Why do you think?
They don't have the ammunition to go to pull it off. I'm pretty sure if they did have the ammunition, they would try first to get Deshaun before Matthew. Because look what he just commanded. He got 2 first-round picks, a quarterback, Jared Goff, debatable. What do you think about Jared Goff? And a 3rd-round pick, right? Like you said, they traded 2 for Jalen Ramsey the last year, and then they're trading another 2 in this year. They didn't have the firepower. He got 2 first-round picks and a 3rd this year for Matthew Stafford, which is 32, 33 years old. You got Deshaun, which is going to be 25, 26. And he's like the top tier of quarterbacks out there. Yo, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if some crazy trade happens and he gets 4 to 5 first-round picks plus 2 elite talents, players on defense, offense. I wouldn't be surprised about that. The asking price is very high, and since this is a quarterback needed league, everybody needs a top-tier quarterback. They're willing to play it. They're willing to pay that.
Yep. I agree. I agree. I think it's definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if, and we're probably never gonna. This is probably never gonna leak. But I wouldn't be surprised if LA did reach out to the Houston Texans and was like, "Yo, what can we bring to the table to get Deshaun Watson?" And probably the honest truth was, you just don't have enough ammunition. You just don't have enough first rounders, right? You've given up all your first rounders. You've mortgaged your future. and there's no way I want that. And make no qualms about it. You know what I mean? As much as I'm poo-pooing Jared Goff is a starting quarterback in this league now. It'd be better for him to be on a better team, because I believe, even when I'm thinking about it right now, I believe that the Detroit, Marvin Jones Jr. is up a free agent, and Kenny Golladay is a free agent. So it's like he's coming to town. Unfortunately, he needs more pieces around him to help him so that he can be more consistent. And now he's not going to even have those pieces. So the interesting thought process is, if you're Detroit, you trade for Jared. You're not technically trading for Jared Goff. You're trading for those first round picks. So are you willing to go into next season with Jared Goff as your starting quarterback, or is the thought process, I'm still gonna go try to get another quarterback in the draft at least?
They could look at two different ways. They can go like, since this is clearly rebuild, we got rid of our franchise leader in Stafford, right? We got Jared Goff. We're not sure about him, but I'm pretty sure they know something about him because the new GM was an executive with the Rams for a long time, so he knows what he's getting in Jared Goff, right? Like you said, they're trading for those 2 first-round picks. When he was in his press conference, what he said is that we are going to build through the draft. We need to fill this. We need to fill this team with young talent, right? Right. Their defense was not very good. Like you said, they got 2 receivers out there that's going to be free agents. And usually, if you got 2 stud receivers, or actually 1 stud receiver, because I really like Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is a stud. If you got 1 stud receiver, 2 good stud receivers, you actually try to keep at least 1. But right. They have so many needs to fill on the defensive side that I wouldn't be surprised if they do not keep either one of those wide receivers, right? And plus, with the salary cap not being that much this year, they're going to have to prioritize, and they're going to have to pick where they want to go ahead and invest that money, right? So what they're going to do, if they want to go into this year as, you know what I'm saying, we're just rebuilding, and then we'll go ahead and add pieces, best player available when we draft, and hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we improve year in, year out, we can go ahead and go that route. Or what they can do, because they do own the number 7 pick, they can choose to try to trade Goff also. If they could try to find a trade partner to trade Goff, they can do that. Because somebody's going to need it, like, yo, we don't need that much for him. You give us a 2nd round pick this year or whatever, and we'll go ahead and you can go ahead and have him while we work something out to go ahead and either move up in the draft and get a quarterback that we like, or something else, whatever it is. So they have options, and nobody is expecting the Detroit Lions to win now. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's expecting the Detroit Lions to be Miami Dolphins, right? They're not expecting that. So they have time to actually build the team and build the team right.
I agree. And it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what Detroit does do, because Dolphin fans have been all over this thing from the very beginning. For some reason, as soon as word on the street dropped, and not word on the street actually, because the Detroit Lions came out themselves and said that they were planning to trade Matthew Stafford, Dolphin fans were on it like a piranha, just biting, because they were like, Detroit is going to come up to the number 3 pick, because most Dolphin fans are hoping that we can trade back a little bit. No Dolphin fan really. We love Devontae Smith, we love Jamar Chase, but nobody wants to draft those 2 receivers at number 3. We would rather draft them in the later at 7, 8, or 9 and around there, instead of drafting them at number 3. And so Dolphin fans have been rooting for the 2 quarterbacks, but that's not named Trevor Lawrence, the BYU quarterback, and your boy out of Ohio State. They've been rooting for them boys to do really, really good. Mac Jones just had another great week at the Senior Bowl, and I think he's climbing up the draft board. Obviously, I don't know if he's top 10 material yet. I'm not a talent guy, but I know that I read what people are saying, and it looks like Mac Jones from Alabama has climbed up. Anyway, so we're hoping, Dolphin fans are hoping that Detroit will come up to number 3 and take that, and we can move back, right? Give us a 1st round pick. We exchange some things so that we can move back and they can take number 3. And that way they can get their QB of the future. So I think you said something that I really like. You can even still trade Jared Goff and go get a something for him, because once again, I still think he's a starting caliber QB in the NFL. Definitely, he's more like a Ryan Tannehill type. I think I'm disrespecting Ryan Tannehill a little bit, but he needs a team around him, right? I think Ryan Tannehill actually is probably a little more consistent than he is, but you definitely Jared Goff needs a more solid team around him so that he can make the correct throws, a solid coach around him so that he can have the help that he needs, so that he can move forward. But here we go. Go ahead, Moses.
I'm gonna say one thing though. The one thing that why that might not be feasible is because if you look at the numbers of his contract, ain't nobody trading for that kind of cap hit
money.
That money is elite quarterback money that you're paying Jared Goff that you might not believe that is actually even worth that. Because is he a top 10 quarterback in the league? Some people's gonna say no, right? No. Is he a top 15?
No.
But once you go not top 15, then you go 15 to 20. You don't get that kind of money that he just signed for. I think it was like 110 guaranteed. I'm not too sure, but it's somewhere around there. But that's why will prevent people from actually trading for Jared Goff. So it looks like they're probably gonna be stuck with him until they probably can release him maybe to a year or two later down the road.
He's going to have to restructure that contract. And I'm being honest with you. I said 15 to 20. I might be being generous between 15 and 20. He's definitely a starting quarterback, but I don't know. He's between 15 to 32, right? He's somewhere depending when he's cooking. If he's not, because when he's cooking, he's on, right? He's definitely going to have to, at some point, I don't know if he's going to let it do it this year. He's going to have to restructure that contract. But this is one of the problems that I see with the NFL that I don't like with quarterbacks. Average quarterbacks, and when I say average, I'm talking about between 15 to 20, are going to get paid over 25 mil a year now, which is ridiculous, right? Because that's the demand on a quarterback. That was my problem with Ryan Tannehill. Like, he needed a big contract, but the problem is he's not a big-time quarterback. So why am I paying you that much when I still got to surround you with talent, when I still got to go find other players to put next to you? And so Jared Goff is that perfect example of a guy that is going to get paid way too much, and he's going to cripple his team, where the GM now has to hit on every draft pick. Otherwise, you're hurt because you can't bring in a free agent to help the team out, to save their lives. But anyway, here we go. Let's flip the switch a little bit. Before I'm about to go on a rant soon. I'm not gonna go on it just yet, but I'm gonna go on a rant at some point in this show. I'm gonna go off. If y'all think I'm loud now, I'm about to get really loud. I'm sorry. My brother's upstairs sleeping, but I'm gonna wake him up. My daughter Araya is sleeping. I'm gonna wake her up. But anyway, let's get into this. So Matthew Stafford, two future first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a solid starting quarterback in the NFL. So you basically just got four pieces for him, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think Deshaun Watson is about to get on this open market right now? Especially since the latest news is that he's willing to go to any team. He's willing to open up the trade market. It's no longer just the Jets and the Dolphins. He's now willing to go anywhere. What the heck are we expecting this guy to get?
So I'll tell you this right now. In the press conference that they had early last week when they hired Cully as the new head coach, the GM said that we have no intentions at all to trade Deshaun Watson. Coach is like, I took this job because with all intentions of Deshaun Watson being my starting quarterback, right? Okay, you got Watson, who's disgruntled, if you want to call it that. He does not want to be there. He wants to get traded, right? You can be like, there's nowhere we're going to trade a first round, a generational type quarterback like that. We're not going to do that. We spent all these years with trash quarterbacks, and we finally found one. There's no way we're going to let him go, right? But then you think about it. It's like Matthew Stafford's 32 years old. He just got what he got, right? Yeah. We have no draft capital, right? Or no guaranteed draft capital, no first round picks, right? We have no first round pick. We can command 3 or 4 or 5 first-round picks, throw in some style elite starters or solid starters, and maybe even a couple of like 3rd, 4th-round picks in there. We will be able to build a team through the draft with the amount of capital that we're going to get, right? You know what I'm saying? that might be tempting for them to be like, you know what, instead of him causing a distraction, let's just go ahead and get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Trade him to wherever he wants to go, and let's go ahead and build this team back up, right? So it might be tempting for them. So they might be saying one thing right now, but the amount of draft picks that teams probably will throw at them, I think it's going to be hard for them to say no. That's how it is. I just believe that.
Hey, listen, I think both mindsets. I think the problem right now is that Deshaun Watson has to be willing to budge. As long as he's willing to budge, right? As long as, because if he continues to say, I want to be on the Dolphins or I want to be on the Jets, both teams, the Jets and the Dolphins, can easily just say, man, yeah, I'm just going to give you 2 first-round picks and one of our QBs. Go. You know what I mean? But if he decides that I'm willing to go anywhere, yeah, what I just saw Matthew Stafford just got, and maybe I'm completely wrong. Clearly, I think them boys can get 5 first-round picks. Maybe it's 4 first-round picks in a elite player. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if for me at this point now, if it's going to be that much, if it's going to be so much early on, I was okay with trading for Deshaun Watson. But if it's going to be all the ammo that I got, at that point, I really don't. I want to jump out of this, right? I don't want no parts of this. Let him go to another team that's willing to give up five first-round picks for him, and that's okay. You know what I mean? And we'll be just fine. I like Dolphin fans. I want you to know that we're in a win-win scenario. And so this whole Deshaun Watson thing is very interesting. Let me just go off a little bit real quick, right? I'm going to go off a little bit, if that's okay. I'm not going to scream because my voice is already hurting, but I need you stupid Dolphin fans to shut up for a few minutes, all right?
You're going like that.
I'm sorry. As a minister, in all honesty, at some point, I know I'm probably going to get hired to work in some kind of conference, or I don't know, some kind of hospital to work as a chaplain, maybe, if I ever go and finish up this chaplaincy. So I'm not going to curse, right? I'm not going to curse because I don't want nobody to come back and find this video and then fire me and say, nah, bro, look, you not a minister. But y'all gotta calm down, Dolphin fans. I'm tired of arguing with you guys. I'm tired of you coming on my feed. I'm tired of you texting me, fresh Swan. Stop with the nonsense. I need y'all boys to calm down. We're in a win-win situation. Matt, calm down. We're in a win-win situation. Dolphin fans are like a guy that never had a girlfriend, and he finally gets a girlfriend, and she's like a 2 on the Richter scale, and they're like, I'm holding on for dear life to this 2. I'm not letting my 2 go. Bruh, relax. It's okay if we want to go out and see what other options we have as quarterbacks. Like, nobody's saying Tua is going to be a terrible quarterback. Nobody's abandoning Tua. Nobody's saying that Tua sucks. All we're saying is, can we at least explore the option that Deshaun Watson wants to come to the Dolphins? It's okay. Breathe, guys. Breathe. Take a chill pill. Relax. Nobody is saying we're going to give up all our assets. We're not stupid. We're not dumb. We're not doing that. And Dolphin fans, the stupid argument of Deshaun Watson is not elite simply because he was on a terrible team that won 4 wins. Stop putting that on him. Relax. Their coach got fired at like 3rd game, 4th game, 5th game of the season. Their defense was one of the all-time worst, right? Like, calm down. It's not his fault the team only won 4 wins. It's not his fault. Calm down, Dolphin fans. So just because Deshaun Watson wants to come to us, now we're trying to poo-poo him and make him seem like he's some scrub? Oh, he's a high school quarterback. He's not even that good. What are you talking about? Stay out of the conversation, please. Since you guys, in all honesty, can't be unbiased and relaxed and calm about this whole situation, just let Chris Greer do his job. Let Chris Greer do his job. Allow my dog to go out and get the best deal done for us. If it's to trade Deshaun Watson, then we're going to be content. We're going to win some games and we're going to be good. If it's not for Deshaun Watson and it's to keep Tua, we're still going to be good. We're still going to be okay. I read an article. Somebody dropped this article the other day about Tua. Tua had the highest passing efficiency, I believe it was, in the fourth quarter in the NFL. Let everyone in the fourth quarter, he was number one. Tua is gonna be good, even if we stick with him. Guys, I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna talk to y'all like y'all my little kids. Calm down. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Since y'all don't know what y'all talking about, just jump out of the conversation. Like I got Dolphin fans. Oh, if Tua's my quarterback. If you're thinking about another quarterback, you're not a real fan of this team. Shut up. Calm down. Anyway, Moses, talk to the man. Tell them to calm down for me, man.
And headphone warnings. That's what I need to tell people. Make sure you don't listen to that joint with your headphones on. That's for real. But you're right, man. Like you gotta explore all options. That's what NFL teams do. They explore all options. And they know they see Tua every day, practice Tua. You know what I'm saying? That's why they pull Fitz in the game when he was struggling. So if they have an opportunity to get a better quarterback, which Deshaun Watson is an elite quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do the trade. Like, I'm saying, people, that's what it is. They live in the now. That happens, right? They like, oh, snap, why did we trade for Deshaun Watson? We gave up all these picks. And by January, then the playoff in the thick of it, going for a win, they forget all of that. They forget about all the picks. They ain't thinking about the draft. What they're thinking about, we need to win the Super Bowl this year, right? Yep. Instant gratification. We need to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, yeah, just like you said, let your homeboy do his thing. He's done an excellent job, better job than the past decade almost. So,
yeah.
So you just gotta let it work. Like, let the man work and see where it goes from there.
It's been 20 years since 21 years since my guy retired, right? This year makes 21 since Dan Marino retired. I think the problem is we've been searching for a quarterback for so long. Everybody was so invested in Tank for Tua, and that you finally, it worked out perfectly. Even when he got injured, you know what I mean? You're like, oh my gosh, we were winning games, and you're thinking we're winning too many games. We're not going to be able to get Tua. We were able to still get Tua. I think people are just panicking, and people really need to just take a chill pill. But the funny
thing about it, if it comes down to it, they didn't want Tua. They wanted Burrow. That's who they wanted. They wanted Burrow, but Cincinnati was like,
they really wanted Burrow. Now we're about to jump into a whole nother conversation.
The reports I heard is like they called up Cincinnati like, yo, we're gonna give you whatever they offered, right? And Cincinnati was like, nah, bro, we want Joe Burrow. We're gonna take Burrow. If that opportunity, they would have took Burrow before Tua.
I don't know. Listen, it's something that we're never going to know, because Tua got injured, right? And so because Tua got injured, it really it dropped his stock, right? And it changed the whole dynamics of the things. But the truth of the matter is, though, let's just say Tua wasn't hurt and it was just Tua versus Joe Burrow. Burrow, and this is my feeling, Burrow had one good season. I needed to see more out of him, right? He still didn't have, he left Ohio State because he couldn't hang. First year at LSU, he was average. He had one really all-time great season, but even that all-time great season, dog, look at the players that he was playing with. Look at the players on that offensive side. Them boys, dog, Justin Jefferson just put up Randy Moss-like numbers his rookie season, bro.
I'm going to tell you this. Listen.
I'm not buying the whole Dolphins wanting Burrow. I'm not buying that. No.
Listen. I can't argue with the numbers and the talent they had around him in LSU. I'm not going to argue with that. But the first, 5-6 games of the season, the dude was playing elite football on Cincinnati. The dude is you have to admit the dude is the truth. The first game that the boy looked like a rookie and he looked confused is the first game when they played against Baltimore and Wink was sending them exotic blitz from all over the field. He looked like a rookie, and then after that he played good, and then he got hurt. But from the small sample size that he had this year, the dude looked like the legit number one pick in the draft. He did.
Okay. I'll give you that. He put up some decent numbers on a very bad offensive, behind a very, very terrible offensive line.
Very terrible offensive line.
I think they had the skill players. Unfortunately, the offensive line was terrible, which is why he got injured. And so they got to do something about that in Cincinnati to see where he goes. I think he eventually, I think that you are right. He'll put up some points. And he might eventually be an elite quarterback, but I don't know. I'm still a Tua fan. I'm still, if it's Joe Burrow versus Tua, I'm taking Tua all day long, every day of the week. Period. And every day of the week, I seen. Listen, there was a video this week that just surfaced of Terrell Owens talking about Tua and saying that the first time he actually met Tua and was they ran some routes. Him, Jared Judy, a couple of different guys went and threw some routes. And he off rip, he's like, yo, this kid is legit. This was Tua's freshman year, true freshman year. A Hall of Fame quarterback was like, yo, this kid is legit from that point on. So Tua has been the man. Unfortunately, it's once again, it's those injuries, right? And so that's why a lot of Dolphin fans are still holding on and grasping onto him, because they're like, yo, he can be legit, because they're just like, yo, he just needs a full off season. And we're over here ready to give up on him. And I can understand that perspective of, yo, we shouldn't give up on him because this kid can be legit. Anyway, here we go. We got a few minutes left in the show. Let's just jump into this real quick, because you brought up Joe Burrow and we talked about Matthew Stafford and we just talked about Tua a little bit. So we just talked about 3 quarterbacks. Before I ask you the one question I'm going to ask you, but let me ask you this question. Of those 3, where would you draft all 3 of those quarterbacks in next year's fantasy? We're talking fantasy football now, everyone. And I know you're all like, what, fantasy? Yo, calm down. No, fantasy is year round. If you want to be legit good at fantasy, you need to be having these conversations all year round. Anyway, so where would you draft Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, and Tua? And this wasn't pregame. We didn't talk about this in pregame, so I'm kind of just throwing this out at you. So give me where would you draft any one of those, all 3 of those quarterbacks?
First of all, it'll be later round.
Guaranteed. Okay, so
they'll be in the later round. Yeah, I'm not drafting any of the dudes past like maybe 9 or above 9.
Oh,
yeah, no.
Okay.
But I tell you this, what I think about it, Matthew Stafford is, I believe, the better quarterback. That's debatable, but to me, the system that he's going to run in LA is basically a play action team. It's a run first. That offense is essentially run first.
He's going to put up some great numbers though, because he's still got those 3 receivers.
I understand that, but in Cincinnati, I didn't watch all their games this year, but it seems like it's more of a passing attack as than a running attack, even though they got Mixon back there. It's tough, but I would take Stafford because he is proven. If it's opportunity, I would take Stafford before any of the other ones. But it'll be Stafford, Burrow, and then Tua.
All right. I like the way you ordered them. I agree with you. So when we're talking about draft strategy, one of my draft strategies is I picked up when I first started doing fantasy. I picked up the draft strategy from ESPN. I read an article on ESPN, and basically it said you just don't draft a quarterback early, right? You're supposed to. I usually wait to the 10th round to draft a quarterback, right? And so all 3 of those quarterbacks that I just listed are quarterbacks that I think, if you could get them in the 10th round, have potential to have star power. But I don't know, of the 3, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Joe Burrow lasts the 10th round. I think he's gonna have some hype on him. I think he'll probably go 7th, 8th round. Matthew Stafford this year was a sleeper for me. I was trying to get him in all my leagues, and I think I got him in 1 league, I think. And so he was average. He didn't do much. It was a week-to-week thing. But I think he's got 3 receivers. He's got a run game that's pretty good. He's got 2 tight ends. Like, I legit think Matthew Stafford could be a decent sleeper that if you can get him in a 10th, 11th round, maybe I'm talking crazy. I apologize. It's still early. It's only January. But Matthew Stafford, I'm whispering this, could put up 5,000 yards, could put up over 30 TDs on that offense. Sean McVay, do we know who he running with?
I know, but it's a running team. They rely more. They set up the run so they get the pass.
Did you see what Goff used to put up when Goff was on? Did you see what Goff used to do? And Goff was average. So now you got a legit guy that can really sling the ball.
But you really think 5,000 yards? The reason why Stafford put up crazy numbers like that because they were always down in Detroit, so he had to pass. There was no option of running, and their run game is not as good as say the Rams. So
I hear you. I'm trying to pull up Jared Goff's numbers from last year, and so let's see if I can find anything. Okay, I see stats. Your boy put up. So this is just this past season. Mm-hmm. Jared Goff put up 3,952 yards, 20 TDs, 13 INTs.
That's the same thing. So Stafford put up.
Stafford could definitely easily put. You telling me Stafford can't put up an extra 1,000 yards?
No. Yeah. I believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
Another extra 10 touchdowns, another 15 touchdowns. But hey, but you know, one of my biggest problems with fantasy is that when I like a player, right? This is why I like to use strategy versus going with my feelings. Right now, my feelings are telling me I could see Matthew Stafford going off, but I don't know if that's what my strategic planning would tell me, right? And this is why I read articles. I read a ton of articles. And that's why I'm so good at fantasies, because I read a lot of articles from other people. I read podcasts, I listen to podcasts to help me, right? And so anyway, going into the last question so we can get out of here. So what's your strategy during the off season during fantasy? What do you do to help you to prepare, get you better, and get you going for fantasy football?
Well, I guess the off season you go and you look at every single team. Like there's some players that were on your team the last fantasy season, right? You don't know much about them. You go see what numbers they put up, how they did, where they rank and stuff like that. That's what I usually do, right? And also with new people, like say a new coach coming in, I sometimes look at what kind of offense they like to run. If is it a spread attack? Is it mainly a running attack? To see if that running back on that team is going to be viable and if I can get them late. Because to me, it's all about getting the best value, right? If you can get a very good player late that's going to put up numbers that not everybody is targeting, it's golden. That's how you win championships, right? You find that player, you get the top players with the first couple of picks that you know guaranteed. You just stick them in there, plug and play, and you don't got to worry about it for the rest of the season, right? And that's why when you have some of these rookies that come in that blow up, it's like players that you get in the later rounds that is put in there and play. You don't got to worry about them also, right? So that's what I do. That's what I look for. My strategy is going into the year. I do not get quarterbacks early. I've been burned like that before. This year, Kelsey was an exception to the rule because he basically almost put up wide receiver numbers. But in years past, I picked Kelsey in the second round and I didn't do very good. So it's mainly for me, it's all about, I look at the running backs. I'm going running back heavy, especially in PPR, especially on running backs that catch out the backfield. I go running backs heavy because it's deeper at wide receiver. You get somebody in the later rounds, right? So it's running backs and then maybe a tight end later in the later rounds also that's going to put up decent points. So along those lines is what I target and what I look for when I'm planning for the upcoming fantasy season.
Facts. I love it. Hey, listen, definitely, we're going to be talking way more fantasy. Obviously, the trade happened today, and so we had to talk about this trade. And so, look, future episodes, we'll definitely be talking more about fantasy. We got to get into the NBA. We're going to definitely be getting into the NBA because, my Jimmy Butler's back, dropped 30 tonight. The Heat are feeling it again. Yes, we're on a one-game winning streak, baby. We back, baby. Anyway, let me stop tripping. Hey, man, thank you for listening. LM Sports Talk on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do me that favor. Moses, man, tell the people something good, man.
Man, something good. I'll tell you this one. Just be on the lookout later on in the year, like he said, especially fantasy. We're going to have a whole show dedicated just for fantasy. How we're going to approach the new fantasy season, what we're going to target, how we like to, what's our thinking behind what we do, right? Something that, because I can tell you right now, the way that my thinking and my strategy that I put in place, I've been that dude lately, right? I've been that dude for the past couple of years. It works good for me. It's not gonna work for everybody. know what I'm saying? It's my thinking, how I think about it. Like Lucky does a lot of research, you know what I'm saying, to get ready. Like I do some research too, but it's also it's all about feeling also. Sometimes you just have that one person, just have a feeling about them and you pick them up, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But be on the lookout, man. Stay blessed up, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Have a good one.
Stay blessed up. He said it. Hey, man, go read Luke 24. Meditate on that. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for listening.